it's Heather again, and we're here today to do some trauma-informed chair yoga. So, chair yoga is something that can be done at home, at work, with your business clothes on, with your pajamas on. It really can be done anytime, anywhere. I've chosen a chair that has some armrests on it, but is a pretty typical office or home chair. If you don't have the armrests, that's perfectly fine. We'll be able to manage that. The only thing I would be careful of is maybe a chair that has wheels on it at the office. So I would just be a little more careful to be sure that you maybe lock down the wheels first before you get started so that it doesn't roll around on you too much. But we're not going to be doing anything like handstands in the chair or headstands in the chair. So if you can't lock the wheels, I think you really will be fine to do some of these movements or most of these movements. So we will be moving back and forward in the seat of the chair. So this chair does have a small backrest. So sometimes we'll be a little bit more back, and for a few things we may come a little forward. For me, that will be about clearing the armrests a bit. So if you have armrests, that will be key. But if you don't have the armrests, you might be able to stay a little farther back, but we won't want to be reclining in the chair, okay? So if you're going to be all the way seated back, we want to make sure that you're really landing in the back corner of that chair so that your back is straight up and down and not leaning back. Alrighty? So that's the chair that I'm using. A kitchen chair would be fine as well. And what I love about chair yoga is you can do it at the office, you can do it at home, you can do it in any clothing, in your pajamas, in shorts, bathing suit, really anything is appropriate. And it's super accessible. So even if maybe you're a weekend warrior and you had a really busy weekend, you were shoveling rocks or doing lawn care or went for a marathon or what have you, if you're a little overdone, chair yoga can be a great place to bring some flexibility into yourself. So what we're going to do to start is just plant our feet firmly in the chair. And to start with, if you'd like to lean back and just be super relaxed, that's fine for right now, because I'm going to invite you to close your eyes if you'd like. Totally acceptable to keep your eyes wide open as well. But if you'd like to join me in closing your eyes and just taking a breath here. Doesn't have to be a super deep breath or anything particular, super long. It doesn't matter if you're breathing in through your nose or your mouth or out. Don't worry about it. Just take a few breaths. Just maybe if you want to think about something with the breath, slow it down just a little bit. The key here is to just notice. Sometimes if it's busy where you are at the office or you're stressed at home, just doing this can be a complete recharge. Maybe you'd like to take a moment and feel the ground under your feet. If your feet are in shoes, feel the shoes, maybe wiggle your toes. And notice that you are firmly supported by the floor, firmly supported by the chair you're sitting in. You can feel the chair. It's stable. It's got you. Your back is supported. And with your eyes closed, and again, if they're open, this is fine too. But let's start to just move the eyes from right to left, moving the eyeballs from right to left, behind your eyes, behind those closed lids if they're closed, just moving the eyeballs side to side. And now maybe move them up and down, up and down, up and down. Great. And now maybe making circles. And make those circles in the other direction. Take a breath. Any other little eye movements that you'd like to make? And then flutter the eyes open if they were closed. So when we spend a lot of time in the office, or we are staring at a computer screen, or maybe we're looking at a person for a long time, we don't move our eyeballs a whole lot. And so that can create a lot of tension behind the eyes and into the head and create headaches. So just taking a moment, even getting in the habit of every 20 minutes, just looking away from the computer, maybe looking side to side, or in between talking to people, taking a moment and just making some circles with the eyeballs. Sometimes that's easier to do with the eyes open. You can get a little dizzy, so doing it in the chair is really the perfect place to do it. The other thing we tend to forget to move is our neck. So again, if we're staring at a computer screen or we're really intently looking at people for a long time, we have a tendency to keep the neck really still. So we're going to help that and undo some of the damage that's caused by maybe getting a little more tall in the chair and growing the spine nice and tall. So what I do is really sort of push myself into the chair and lift the top of my head towards the spine, towards the sky, towards the ceiling, and notice the lengthening of my spine, and notice how much taller I can get by pressing down into where I'm sitting and lifting the top of my head towards the ceiling. With my spine nice and tall like this, now let's just look from side to side. Moving the neck. You may notice some resistance. That's okay. Not to worry about that. Resistance is futile. No. Resistance is just telling you that you maybe haven't moved your head in a while. But don't go past anything that hurts. So honor what you're feeling. And if you're moving to one side and you get to about here and your neck says, I don't think so today, that's fine. Honor it. Don't push past it. Maybe you can just sort of gently coax a little bit more movement there, but don't feel badly. Don't judge it. It is okay to have a little bit of a stiff neck, especially if you're in the office, especially if you are a little stressed. So let's come back to a neutral head. And this time we're going to start to drop one ear to one shoulder. It really doesn't matter which one you start with. I think we look like it's the left ear to the left shoulder, so that's fine. And we're just letting the weight of the head do the work, and then we're going to move over to the other side. Maybe taking a nice deep breath when we get there, and let's move on to the side again where we started. Maybe take a breath. And again. And then find your own pace for this. Just kind of going side to side. Because we're in the chair, we can also do something interesting here for the neck. And we can take our hand. So let's come back to a neutral straight neck. Let's take the left hand, or right hand, for what you're looking for. It really doesn't matter. Okay, but we're going to use the same side. So the right hand, I'm going to grab the bottom of the chair and sort of give myself a little bit of an anchor. And then let my head drop over to the left side. So now my right hand is holding on to the bottom of the chair, and I'm letting my head lean over to the left ear to left shoulder. And that's creating a little bit more of an ability to create some length here in the neck. Maybe take a few breaths here if you like, if this is giving you a nice, powerful stretch. Another breath. Notice some movement in the shoulders, and then let go of the hand and slowly come on back up. Great. And let's try that on the other side. So now the left hand is going to reach down and grab that chair. My right hand is just resting, and then I'm going to let my head drop over to the right side. So right ear to right shoulder. And these are some great movements that, you don't have to set aside 45 minutes to do this whole thing. You can just be sitting at your desk and say, boy, I really need a little bit of some neck yoga right now. And this is it. This is what you're doing. Just moving in some shapes. Great. Take a breath. And let the hand go, and then come on back up. Perfect. Now I like to imagine that I've got like a little magic marker tip on the tip of my nose, and that helps me to really make this neck shape in a way that feels really nice on my neck. So let's draw this line by first dropping our chin to our chest. And then take that magic marker and make a straight line all the way up and looking up towards the ceiling. Now we want to be a little careful here because we could really crank this back and shorten the cervical spine and really make it like crunch. We don't want to do that. So open up your chest a little bit and kind of glance up at the ceiling, but don't overdo this one. And now make that line with the nose. Come all the way back down, chin to chest. Great. And if you'd like to add the breath to this, that's fine. Maybe there's an inhale here. We open the chest and look up. Then maybe there's a little exhale here. And one more time, maybe there's a little inhale as you look up. And you could exhale here. Chin to chest. Now we're going to keep the chin on the chest here and start to roll to the left. We don't want to roll to the back though, so we're going to stop here at the left ear to left shoulder, okay? And then roll it back to the front, rolling that chin down and over to the right side. There you go. We don't want to go to the back. So just making this a nice gentle roll. Okay, we'll get the front of that neck, but not by letting that heavy, heavy head just sort of flop to the back of the body. We don't want to do that. It's a lot of uncontrolled movement, and again, we're sort of crunching that spine, and that's never a fun idea. So here we are, just rolling to the front, nice and slow, nice and controlled, and then let's come back up to that neutral spine. So the way to get the front neck muscles, which are really strong, again, if we just sort of flop to the back, we can do some damage to the cervical spine. So what we're going to do here to get these big front neck muscles, it's a very subtle move, but I think it will be helpful. And again, anything that feels funky or like, ooh, I don't really want to do that, please honor your body. Please honor what your neck is telling you. And don't go any farther. The neck is very sensitive, and we often hold a lot of stress and tension in the neck and shoulders. So be super gentle and super gracious with yourself here, okay? But to get the front of the neck here, we're gonna look over the left shoulder as if you were looking over at somebody behind you, and then very gently tilt the head back. Excellent. It's really hard to talk in this position, so just take a breath. And then come on back. And then of course we're going to do it the other way. So just looking over the right shoulder, again, as if there was someone behind you, you're going to look at them and say, hello, and then just tilt that back. Then come on back. Great. All right, so your neck, let's hope, kind of check it. Feels a little better. Great. Moving on to the shoulders. So first thing we're going to do is, again, lift that head up, lengthen the spine, really feel that length as we press the top of the head up towards the ceiling. Put the feet down, great. And we're going to lift the shoulders up to the ears. So elevate, and then push the shoulders down. Ooh, starting to feel those shoulder blades and how strong they are. Great. Lift up and press down. If you'd like to add a little bit of breath to this, here we go. We're going to inhale, but it's not necessary. You can just breathe as you like. And exhale, shoulders down. Maybe noticing some tension. loving that you're taking a little bit of time to release that tension. Press the shoulders down one more time. Big inhale up if you're breathing into this. And exhale it down. And maybe some shoulder rolls to the back. Noticing the shoulder blades and any movement that's coming into the shoulder blades. Great. And then let's take some shoulder rolls to the front. So when we sit in a chair at the office or even at home, and you can continue to move your shoulders any way you want, but what we do is we start to internally rotate. So the shoulders come in and we slouch a bit, especially if we're at the computer or we're texting on our phone, or maybe we're listening intently to someone, and notice the head starts to come forward, the shoulders rotate inward, and the back slumps and we compress the spine. So everything we're doing today with this little chair practice is to do the opposite of that and find some relief. So internal rotation is something most people have quite a problem with, and kyphosis, which is that head forward. So let's address the head first and go back to being nice and tall. Now that we've worked the neck out a little bit and maybe hopefully gotten some of the kinks out, I want you to imagine that your head is on rollers on top of your neck, and bring up a few fingers to your chin and just press the head back. And then let it go. Maybe it comes forward a little. I don't want you to overdo it. Don't come forward. Just kind of come back to neutral, okay? And press the head back. One more time. Press the head back. Great. Where we really want the head to rest is with the ears right over the shoulders. So you can practice that a little bit, and when I do it, I feel a lot of interesting, like I hear some cracking and popping in my head, and it feels good. Any of that did not feel good, don't repeat it. Honor what you're feeling, okay? But with this internal rotation, we want to take care of that, and we're going to bring the hands out to the side. And I'm going to turn my chair again, but most of us, if we're internally rotated, when we hang our hands, the thumbs face in. So what we want to do is bring the arms up, okay, with the thumbs just flat, palms facing down. And we're going to overdo that internal rotation a little bit, okay? So up in the T, we're going to point the thumbs down and palms come up. And then we're going to go all the way around, thumbs come up, and then thumbs back. Notice how your shoulder blades engage and your chest opens. All right, great. So let's big inhale here. And then exhale, turn all the way. Great, inhale. Excellent, exhale. All the way. Good, inhale, big open. And exhale. Last one, big open. And let the hands come down, exhale it out. Great. All right, we're going to turn those thumbs out, open the chest, external rotation, pull those shoulder blades together, and inhale, look up. Exhale, turn the palms and look down. So now we're using everything we've been doing. Inhale, turn the palms so that the thumbs face the back. Inhale, look up. Putting a good number of things together, and exhale. Great, okay. One more movement to really open this chest. We're going to come forward in the chair a little bit, okay? And turn again. If you have a lot of flexibility, you might be able to stay in the back of the chair, because what we're gonna do is get the hands together back behind the chair. But that might be a lot of movement for some folks. So it's okay to come forward in the chair and bring your hands together behind you here. I know it's kind of dark, I'm in a dark chair here, but I've interlaced my fingers like this, and I've got my right thumb on top. Okay, so hands in back, feet are planted firmly. We want 90-degree angle from ankle to knee, knee to hip, okay? And now we're going to press those knuckles down into the chair, and you'll notice that your shoulder opens up, okay? Pull the belly button muscles back towards the spine, stay nice and tall, and press those knuckles into the chair. If you've got a little more flexibility and you want to lift the hands up a little bit and press into the corner of the chair with the knuckles, that's fine too. Really good. Great job, and then let that go. Maybe bring the hands forward, shake it out a little bit. And then we're going to redo the same thing, but this time with the left thumb on top. That might feel weird, which one of those is going to feel a little different to you. And same thing, we're going to press the knuckles into the chair to rotate that shoulder externally. Pull the belly button in nice and tight, engage the core. And then if you'd like, press a little bit more press those knuckles into the chair. If you've got a little more space, you might want to lift up and then press those knuckles into where the back and the seat of the chair meet. Great. Inhale here. Exhale. And let it go. So that's another good move to just sort of do throughout the day. You don't have to do it all the time, but it might feel really nice. And now we're going to just kind of move the spine a little bit. And I want to find a way. There we go. That's going to be great. So I've turned away from you a little bit so that you can see how my spine is going to move. And we're going to just make some shapes with the spine. We are going to use our breath a little bit, but again, you don't have to go right along with me. And if you're inhaling when I'm exhaling or exhaling when I'm inhaling, that is fine. Don't worry about it. Alrighty, so hands can rest anywhere they like. The arm rest is fine, but we do want to give ourselves a little bit of space between your own back and the seat back of the chair. So once again, we're going to check the legs and make sure that feet are flat, and we're going ankles to knee, knee to hip. And now that I've moved away from the back of the chair a little bit, I'm going to put my hands on my legs. And we're going to just let the back kind of come into that C curve, but really kind of push the center of your back towards the back of that chair. Let the head hang a bit. And then come the other direction and make a big curve the other way. To me, it feels like a U curve. And now we're using a lot of the movements we've already done. I'm pulling my shoulder blades together and a gentle glance up. So that's going to be our inhale. So big inhale here. And then exhale, I'm going to let my head drop, and I'm going to really pull my belly button in and press the center of my spine towards the seat, the back of the seat. Great. So more than just sort of slumping, I'm in charge of this movement, and I'm thinking about it. I'm pressing into my seat. Good. Inhale into that U curve, little gentle glance up, and exhale. Chin comes to chest, and making that C curve with the back, pressing the center of my spine towards the back of my seat. One more time. Let's make that nice big U. That shape, pulling the shoulder blades back, engaging the whole back, and then exhale, pulling the belly button in towards the spine, making that C curve, chin to chest, pressing the center of the spine towards the back, and then just coming back to a neutral spine if you like. So what we've done there is really moved all the vertebrae intentionally, and that's caused synovial fluid to move through the spine, which is just so good for your back. So, excellent job. That felt really good. All right, coming back here, arms out to the side. I've got a little space between myself and the back. Again, I'm gonna grow my spine nice and tall. And I'm gonna inhale my arms right up to a T. We're gonna start to warm up the center of the body, okay? So right here, we're just gonna reach over to the left as far as we can, like we're reaching over a counter, but pressing this sits bone, so the part of your body that's really sitting in the chair, pressing that right sits bone down, so reaching to the left. Now I'm gonna change it up and reach over the right countertop and press that left sits bone down. So I'm not lifting up here. I'm really pressing that left sits bone down. So reaching, and now let's go the other way. Great, reach as far as you can, but don't let that hip come up. Really press down. So if you'd like, you can go back and forth here. Great job. And just breathe naturally. Maybe feeling some spiciness in the arms as we keep them up here a little bit longer. Reach over that cabinet, press that hip down. Counter. Reach, press the hip down. One more time on each side. Big reach and big reach. Great, let it go. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so now we're gonna do some twisting in the chair. So arms are gonna come out to the side. Inhale, look up, all of these wonderful things we've been doing, make that C curve in the spine. And as we come down, my left arm is gonna reach to the back of the chair, and my right arm is gonna reach to my right armrest. Now the thing with doing a twist in a chair is that you can really use the chair and the strength of your arms and sort of really crank yourself around. We don't want to do that. This is gentle, okay? But just as we were doing that side to side and we were thinking about those sits bones and sort of pressing in, we're going to do the same thing here. So if we're twisting to the left, we want to make sure that that right sits bone is really down and both feet are firmly on the floor. If one of your foot's coming up, press it back down and make contact with the floor. As we twist, we want to lift the spine nice and tall and press the top of that head towards the ceiling and draw the shoulders down. So everything we've been doing all sort of comes together right here. All right, and then bring it back nice and gentle. Bring it just right back to the center. Excellent job. All right, whew. Wiggle that out a little bit. Let's do it again to the other side. So big inhale. Make that C curve, and then we're going to exhale, come to the right. So the right hand comes to the back, left hand comes over to the chair, to the armrest, and we're pressing that left sits bone down, looking over to the side. Excellent. Beautiful job. Put both of those feet flat on the floor, and then come on back to the center, just nice and gentle here. All right, so we're gonna do those again on both sides because it's so good for your low back, so good for your posture to really make this great movement. So big inhale and exhale over to one side. Just let it go, come on back. Beautiful. Here we go, big inhale. And exhale. Great job, back to the center. One more time on each side because these really feel so wonderful. They're so good for when you've been sitting. Big inhale, exhale it over to the side. And we're going to stay here for a breath if you'd like. So no need, you don't have to. Draw those shoulders down. So big inhale to lengthen the spine. And remember, be gentle. And exhale, see if you can just make that a little bit deeper. Come on back to the center. All right, last one. Big inhale. Exhale it over. And then let's stay here for a big inhale up. Exhale. Lengthen that spine and come on over. Great, beautiful job. Excellent. Whoo, all right, we are working our way here. Gonna do a little forward fold in the chair. So this can be done anywhere, of course, but when you start to do this in the office, you wanna be careful if people are gonna see you, because if you're just sort of hanging out down there, which we're gonna do for a little while in that forward fold, people might think that you have fallen over or something like that. You may want to write a little sign, you know, I'm okay, and put it on your desk and say, I'm just doing a little chair yoga. Heather said this was fine. I'm all good. So that might be something you want to do. We're going to come forward in the chair a little bit. Make sure our feet are planted, okay? Now the thing here is we want to make sure that we've got enough chair though that we're nice, well planted in the chair, because we don't want to fall out. All adjusting the side, we don't want to fall out of the chair. So big inhale here, and really connecting with the chair, knowing and believing that it's got us. We're going to exhale and fold over. This one, we're just going to take it kind of slow first time. Just let the hands maybe come to the feet and let the head hang, and just feel that nice stretch all the way to the low back. Letting the head hang and really creating some intention in keeping that seat stable, and breathe here for a moment. Now using your hands, walk yourself back up. Start with the shins. Walk up and come forward and sit. Oh, we forgot to do one stretch for the arms. I want to make sure that we do that. So we had a little forward fold. We'll let the blood rush back to the head, and we'll stick with the arms for a moment. So what I'd like you to do is just roll your hands on your wrists. Just roll them in the different directions, just back and forth. Great. And then spread the fingers and make fists. Spread the fingers and make fists. Just do that a couple of times. Great. And then with the other hand, just pull each finger a little bit. Just a gentle little pull. Gentle, gentle. There you go. Good job. And then maybe just sort of put the hands together and get all the way down in the knuckles and wiggle. And then come to the second knuckles where they are together and wiggle. And then thumbs, maybe just a little gentle massage on each thumb, other side. Great. And now forearms can take a real beating with all of that typing or texting. So we're going to take the left arm and stretch it out, and then make sure we pull that shoulder back so that we're nice and tall in the seat again. And with the palm facing forward and the fingers up, we're going to take the right hand and bring it to the front with the fingers, and just gently pull the fingers back and press the base of the palm forward. You might feel some feeling at the bottom of that forearm. Great, just breathe naturally. And then let's turn the hand facing down so that the front of the hand is here, fingers are down. We're still going to use that right hand and just pull the fingers again towards yourself and press the wrist out away from yourself. And just take a few breaths here. You might feel some sensation at the top of that forearm, or you may not. And let it go. Great. Now the other side. So that right arm is going to press forward and then pull it back into the shoulder socket. So we're not hyperextending and reaching. We want to stay nice and square in that chair. Okay, so palm is forward, fingers are up. Now that left hand is going to come in. Grab the fingers. We want to use a lot of the hand because we don't want to pull the fingers back. We're pulling the hand back, okay? And then pressing the base of that hand, the heel of the hand, out away from yourself. So pulling the fingers back, pushing the heel of the hand away. Great, maybe a little smile, a little breath. And then turning that hand down so that the top of the front of the hand is facing away, and we've got those fingers again. Remember, and we're gonna come up to the base of those knuckles and pull the hand back and press the wrist forward. Same thing with all of the movements we've done. If you feel any ooh, I don't think I want to do this, don't worry about it. Just press forward and disengage. If something feels like it's too much, feels like it's not what you want to do today, listen to your body, all right? Always the best way to move forward. And let that go. Shake it out. Whew, yeah. So again, those wrists can really take a lot of stress when we're typing and texting or writing. We want to bring some blood flow, bring some flexibility to the muscles and tendons, all in that area. So this was mostly upper body. We've done eyes, head, shoulders, arms, middle of the body, torso, and we've started to get into the lower half. And so I just wanted to market that we're moving. And so this can be considered sort of part one. And now we'll move into part two.